Cheng Ching was born in Yongjia, China, in the last decade of the Qing dynasty. Steeped in the arts and culture of a 5,000-year-old civilization, he was unusually gifted, and by an early age had become a master of calligraphy, brush painting, poetry, and traditional medicine. He learned Tai Chi Chuan from the legendary Yang Chengfu and wrote the preface to Yang's 1934 book on Tai Chi. He was also influenced by Taoists and other internal masters he encountered in his travels, and by the 1950s had developed a short form of Tai Chi that emphasized softness, naturalness, sinking, and release of tension. The tapes in this collection were shot at Cheng's Shizhong School in New York City between 1969 and 1971. They are offered in the spirit of loving kindness and the passion for self-mastery which Professor Cheng so fully exemplified and embodied.
After doing the form for a while and getting to know ourselves, we can go into push hands and start to know other people. And after we do that for a while, maybe a couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can begin with the sword form and fencing. Working with the sword enables you to put your energy, your chi out through an instrument and to feel the other person through an instrument. The sword is an instrument of the Tao.
I remember when Professor Chung's dueling with us, it looks as if sometimes he's actually forcing someone back, and they just start running back. But what happens when he comes at you with the sword is that you try to neutralize it, but you can't find any space. You can't find any space to turn it around anywhere. And so he just keeps filling. If he gets stuck to you, he just stays stuck to you, and whatever you do just brings it into you. So there was no way, and that was true with the push hands too. The moment he touched you, you were stuck. The moment he touched you with the sword, there was no way of finding any way to turn it around. So sometimes it looks as if he is dominating, and a student might interpret that, and I've seen students try to do that, and actually they are forcing their opponent back like that. But when you did it with him, he was not forcing you, but you were doing it to yourself. He was sticking to you, and you were just trying to neutralize and to get away. And that, so when you look at it from the outside, one might think that he is just bashing right through this. But basically, on the other end of that, it wasn't happening that way.
My hand is not moving in my phone. My needle is moving. I wonder if it means anything if it's not moving.
Gm Cmc loved to do it. He was always smiling and chasing us around the room. And as Ed Young said once, the cut came from nowhere. We didn't know where it was coming from. We would just put our sword up and try to be a barrier or to move out of the way, and we could never get out of the way. He was always following us right on our center. And it wasn't a lot of fun for us at the moment. We were mostly filled with anxiety and fear, but afterwards we'd be laughing as much as he was laughing all the time. And we were trying to get out of the way, basically, backing up. He said, don't ever back up, and we backed up all the time. We could, and we tried to circle, we'd be backing up because he'd be in front of us. And it was one at a time. He'd take us for about 5 minutes until we were exhausted, and he'd take about 10, and he was never breathing hard.
It's evident in the sword play and in the pushing hands that it's very evident, because without force he's able to be able to become one with you, in other words. And he determines, by your determination, what can be done. And without any intention to be in that position, but there's no way you can get out of that position, because he is already you, and you have lost your balance and he is filling in on it. So the result is almost like staged things. They all look like they're staged, but it's for inexperienced eye. All the fencing, all the push hands, they all look like they're staged to happen. And this is what happened when you look at the film without knowing what it's like to be on the other side.
It's not your movie star.
Okay, I'll help you in a second, Luke. What are we gonna do?
Come on, you stop reading.
Look at this. Is that what you wanted me to say?
his footwork was natural. He would go where he needed to go, always in present time. And we were always trying to figure things out, and we were getting our feet crossed and going sideways and jumping. More or less, what I say to the students is it should be like taking a walk in the park, because that's the feeling I got from him. There shouldn't be any tension involved in it at all. It should be natural, naturally, and mostly he's moving forward and circling. And it was light. He was, and his sword was light too. It looked like he was forcing us, as Mackie said, but it was light. It was light on ours, and we would press against it, and when we would do that, it would go someplace else. It would always be disappearing from the energy direction that we were putting on it. And he never really cut us. He never tried to cut us. We had to invite him to. And we were an open invitation for him. We were getting cut left and right all the time. Very often it was landing on our neck or under our arms, and as I said, didn't see it coming, and we were confounded by it.